Welcome back to the channel, guys. Tum here, Energia Martial Arts. With me today is Frank. It's his first time on the channel. He has no idea what to expect. What you're going to expect is going to be some nice counters to the dogfight position. We're going to sweep, we're going to work, we're going to attack some submissions. Let's get to it. Us. Okay, so we're going to start off in a half guard knee shield position. If you have no idea what the dogfight position is, we have a video on that already. I'll put a link up somewhere. So in knee shield half guard, usually he's framing on me. He wants to get the underhook, wants to keep this knee shield high. We have some videos on how to work with this. We can immediately go into passes here. But today we're going to go one step further with the dogfight. Now just to give you the framework a little bit, he's keeping my leg from knee slicing here. His knee shield is here so I cannot easily pass. He's framing. I don't want him to go underneath and sweep, so usually I'm working this grip, cross-fighting. I don't want to give him the underhook. We're going to look at that today with the dogfight. So usually I can post in his armpit, so if he tries to reach for the underhook now, this might be a good post. I like to pin the elbow. Now if I pin wrist down, and Frank gets on his shoulder, he can still go on top easily. So what I would like to do is usually get their wrist pinned this way. So if you want to get on your elbow now, it's a bit harder. And we can work, for example, lag weave passes. We have a video on that on the channel. We can work into cradles. If I get this arm, if it's reinforcing the knee shield, I can grab the arm, go into my cradles, etc. Or if I want to be a complete pain in the butt for him, I'm going to push the knee shield down. I can attack the toe hold here, or I like to curl this leg behind him and catch the neck and just start lifting this all together. How does it feel, Frank? Yeah, it's beautiful, and pass from there. But today we're going to go one step further. So we have to look at the steps from dogfight. So if he just raises up, he goes for the underhook. Yeah, so nice. He's basing his elbow. One step back, please. So he's basing on the elbow. He's going for the dogfight. Now Frank wants to get his head onto my chest. Gets his underhook. Now the first thing I'm going to do, obviously, is I'm going to take this whizzer here, this overhook. Yeah. So the overhook prevents the back take. Now before he gets his head to my chest, so he sits up, I get the overhook, and I'm going to block the head. Now I'm not going to block the neck, because if I block on the neck, keep pushing with your head, he's still very strong. So I go on the base of the head and grab my own wrist. Now I want to push him down to the mat. Now usually what people like to do is they grab this arm and try to push him back. I like to first frame on the head, so I don't reach forward. Now the problem is, if I push him back to his shoulders, you'll see Frank will just sweep me over to the side. So I have this overhook, I control the head. Now if I push him that way, he will just grab underneath and throw me over, score a sweep on me and get a top position. So I have to be aware of that. So in that case, I'm not pushing Frank back to his shoulders, but I want to grab his skull and make him do a face plant here on the mat. Now throw me over to your left side, please. Yeah. So it's very hard. My weight is on my knee and on my hips, pushing his head down in this position. And if he wants to sweep me to the opposite side, it's going to be very hard. Yeah. So back on the elbow. So I'm not going that direction. I'm not collapsing this shoulder this way, but I'm throwing his chest to the mat here. Now from there, if he wants to continue the dogfight, it's pretty hard. We can see what will happen there if you start switching the legs. Or I go into my darts, get this grip, or I go into this cradle here, sprawl out, and get this front side cradle. Now, so for the second technique, he still goes for the underhook. Now, instead of getting my overhook, I'm going to reach behind in this space, behind his elbow. It's a nice technique that Lepre did on a match against Lachlan Giles, and that Dante Leon has some video around. So if you want to see the full in-depth stuff, check those guys out. Now, I'm going to reach around. If you have long arms, you can reach inside this space. If his shoulder blade is in the way, you reach a bit forward, or you grab the wrist and make yourself a bit easier to grab this arm. Now, from here, I want to collapse my partner, free my knee, so we get like this more like quarter mount position. I'm going to base out, I'm going to push him to the mat. Now my far side shoulder is going to frame over his head as I base my own head and start walking away, rolling, and getting him to the side here in this position. From there, I reverse AB, get my hooks in, and chase his back. Now, I myself personally don't really use this that much, so I would recommend watching the match with Lepre and Giles, or check out the video with Dante Leon. Now back to the dogfight. So now my opponent gets a bit further. So as he goes for the underhook, he immediately starts putting his head to my chest. Yeah, I get the overhook again to prevent the back take, and he starts switching his legs. Boom, and we get more into the real dogfight position. From here, instead of fighting him in the position, yeah, or throwing uchimaras from here, I'm gonna get my leg out, slide out, go back to front headlock. From there, I push his elbow into his face. Let's turn around a little bit. So I don't keep the armpit. If I keep the armpit, put your left elbow backwards. Yeah, he's very strong there. So go back, please. As soon as I slide out, I slide away. So put your left elbow back. So I put your left elbow out. Yeah, it's stuck, you see? So I frame on the elbow. From there, I can work front headlocks. I can go into darces, switch to anaconda, and from there, choke my partner out. Let's watch it one more time. And maybe take a look at the transition I do with the arm. As soon as I slide out my overhook, and instead of going from the armpit, I slide down to the elbow to get the arm in head control. So we're in the dogfight position. I always, before he starts sweeping me, want to put some pressure on my opponent with the overhook. Usually, I can throw him off and try to get this fight, but I don't want to fight him here. So I get my foot out, yeah, I slide out and I switch my arm from the armpit down to the elbow, you see? So that's where I flare it. From there, I can start working front headlock positions, yeah, start going for darces, anaconda, or work the back. Now the final one, and my favorite, he's gonna go all the way into dogfight. I'm too late, I do get the overhook. Now I keep this position. I can let go of the overhook, but then I have the risk of taking it back, so I'll just hang on. And instead of pushing him backwards or forwards now, I'm gonna dive underneath his center of gravity and on his legs. Because my leg is on the front side here. It will always be in a dogfight, yeah? If he switches his legs out. From here on, instead of sliding out, I'm gonna stay in, locked in the dogfight. I'm gonna throw myself underneath his center of gravity. So I'm not gonna fall here with his weight on the side, nor I'm going to dive in underneath my center. I'm gonna dive underneath him. My knee is gonna flare up as I flip over and I catch his knee to my chest. From here, let go of the overhook, switch, and immediately start baiting, catching the heel or the knee bar from here. Or I could just come up, catch the shin, flip over, and work this side top position again. Let's see it on speed once. So, playing knee shield half guard. Boom, my opponent sits up, gets the dogfight, gets the overhook, yeah, dive underneath, switch, flip, catch the heel, go into my knee bar here. Or get into 411, get into heel hooks, or get a top position from there. So that was a quick summary today of some reactions to the dogfight position. Yeah, first off, when he's still on the elbow, catching his head, and try not to throw your partner to his back because he will just sweep you. So face plant, start passing from there and get the top position. Or the back entry from the pre, or the leg lock entry and the slide out to front headlock. Hope you guys like them and see you in the next video. Frank, thank you for helping out. Oes.